Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. I do want to thank you for joining us tonight. Let me tell you something. It's a jungle out there. That is all I can say. It's a jungle out there. So viewers, remember we are live on Synergy Network from Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. There's a rerun of this program the next day from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. Remember that we are on Facebook, social media platform, Real Talk with Saieed Ali on Facebook. Just like and share it, viewers, so your friends and family, local, regional, and international, could know about it on Facebook. Now, we are on YouTube. Those of you who have your YouTube channel, it's TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you would know when we go live. And our other platform, you know, there's TikTok trending throughout the world now. It's the latest platform, and everybody's on TikTok. So it's Saieed Ali Real Talk on TikTok. Saieed Ali Real Talk, one word, and you will find us on TikTok when we go live from Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. So you can share it also. Encourage your friends and your family to also like Saieed Real Talk, Saieed Ali Real Talk on TikTok, viewers. So, a little update I have for you tonight. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has stated that application for the certificate of character cannot be facilitated at this time due to the system malfunction. According to a press release from the TTPS, they are working to restore the system, which has been experiencing technical difficulties for the past several months. Hey, that is a thing, you know. Just imagine if you have a passport appointment, or you have a job application appointment, and you have to get a COC, certificate of character. What's your position? Now, when they hold an individual for a crime that is committed, and they roll their fingerprint, are they going to get a reading on that individual? It's a jungle out there. It's a jungle. Imagine that. People running around in Trinidad and Tobago, criminal running around, job application, visa appointment, and you cannot get a certificate of character. This system has been down for several months. But you know what we are doing in Trinidad and Tobago? We are going into the 21st century with the latest technology. And as simple thing as a certificate of character, we cannot get. We cannot get. The public applications who applied before today are also advised that this disruption will affect their COCs being supplied to them in the near future. The public will be updated as to when the COC system is repaired. So if I had to go and get a certificate of character now, and it is very important, what will happen to me? Several months now. Several months. Is there any specialist in Trinidad or anybody that the TTPS has to fly in? You know, they have money to go all over and money to spend while. For instance, 7.5 for allocation for party. How come they didn't fly down specialists to see about the COC department? Somebody say something. Somebody say something. Nobody's going to say anything about it. Because nobody cares about it. You know who will care about it? When an individual have to get a certificate of character to go get a job, then they will understand how important it is. In the meantime, they do business. They do business. How come? You will tell me several months now. Several months now this down. Several months. What are we going to do? So viewers, it's Thursday the 15th of September 2022. Share our live stream. Share our live stream. Let your friends and family know about Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Deputy political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, Watson Duke, has resigned with immediate effect from the post of Deputy Chief Secretary for the Tobago House of Assembly. Duke states that while he will sit on the opposite side of the THA, calling the current executive a group of spineless jellyfish, nonsense-eating and imposters. Duke made the announcement as he launched his most vicious attack against the Chief Secretary, Farley Augustine, at a news conference in Barataria, Trinidad. It's heating up in Tobago. He stated, no, Watson Duke is moving away and allowing Farley the full regain. Full regain. So Farley now will be in control. His resignation came 2 days after Augustine challenged Duke to bring a motion of no confidence against him in the THA. So it seems as though Farley have won. Duke is stepping aside. Farley is going to have full control over the THA. But we need our opposition. Let's hope Duke is strong enough to be that opposition that will also guide the Tobago House of Assembly. Hey, I tell you, it's bacchanal in Trinidad, it's bacchanal in Tobago, it's bacchanal all over the world. 2386716 viewers, is bacchanal Thursday right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Remember, our office are located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas. Real Talk group of companies has 3 numbers in Central, 1 number in South. Our South numbers are 2427690. You can contact them. Central office 2386716, 3391670, or 2677325. Remember, if you love to borrow money, we love to lend. We love to lend. Two opposition MPs are urging the government not to restart Nikon Energy on a heritage compound at Pointe-à-Pierre without making the report public on the disaster which caused its closure in the first place. 1 month after Nikon, the former World GTL plant was sold to former government lobbyists in the US, Ansel Gill, in March 2021. There was an explosion which caused a temporary shutdown. Investigations were to be followed by the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industry and the Occupational Health Authority, that is OSHA. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
You're live on Real Talk. Go right ahead.
Right, my partner from Tobago. Isn't he who appointed all them fellas and them to run the show? So what you do? You setting up, you want to set up your own self and you go talk and kind of talk? No, you see, at the end of the day, people just have to know how to talk and what to say, right?
Correct.
And that's one of the things that I just do. When I have to talk about something, I make sure that I have my point in again.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there is a situation that's going on with a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And the bank is behind him. You imagine a simple bank card is expired, right?
Yeah.
And you is ill, and you cannot have access to go to the bank. Neither you can send anybody to go to the bank, and they want to take your money and close your account.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do him. But the thing about it is this is that I stand in the frame too. And when they require that the payment, I just go and pay it.
Correct.
So it is active. But you can't be threatening people to shut down their account. Because
Correct.
if I paid money yesterday to close off all the debts, how come today a new one come up? And it's exorbitant amount of money. So the banks are behind people, finances, and heads of people is behind these things. They need to check this out because at the end of the day, crime is never done. They need to check that out.
Now,
Because
caller, what do you think about the new tap card they're bringing out? Now, with this new tap card, you just have to tap the machine and all your information coming up. They don't ask for ID. Now, listen this. Listen this. This new tap card, because my bank called me and said, Saeed, we are issuing a new tap card. You just tap it on the machine and all the information comes up. I tell them, I say, here what's going on. I asked them a question. I said, suppose I lose this card and somebody found this card with my $50,000 in the bank account. With this tap card, you do not need to present an ID to any merchant. You go, you make your purchase, you take out your card from your wallet, you tap it on the machine, and that's it. What's going to happen? So just say I lose this card now. I lose this card. And for some reason somebody find it and they decide, you know what? You don't need nothing, you just tap the card and you pay for whatever it is. What's going to happen to my $50,000 in my bank? Up to now, not one single bank or financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago came out and said something about it. Absolutely nobody. I refuse the card. I refuse the card. Because normally with a credit card, when you go, they will ask you for a form of ID just to make sure it's you. Now, bing, collect your bag, move. So I would lose $50,000 in the bank. Who's going to pay for that? Nobody but Saeed. Caller, good night.
Very, very good evening to you, my dear friend, Mr. Saeed.
My friend, how are you?
I am good.
You're live. Go right ahead.
So the Minister of Finance said that recently that TNTech is owing NGC $7 billion. What the Minister needs to come clean and tell us how much money several of the ministries, the government ministries,
correct, is owing TNTech.
It's a big, big, big amount of money.
Yep.
And one more thing. Nikwan Energy. It's just like when you get sick and you go to the doctor. He will put you on medication and whatnot, and before you go back to work, you have to go to the doctor and get a fit to resume duty.
Yes.
So too, Nikwan has to get a fit to resume operations.
Correct.
From OSHA. All the best. Have a good evening, friend.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the experts warn of increasing food insecurity. Right after this.
Do you want to make the best investment but not sure where to turn? Put your mind at ease and worry no more. Real Talk Group of Companies is giving you a whopping 3.5% interest on your investments. Come on down and visit us today. We have 2 convenient locations just for you.
Real Talk Group of Companies. We are a licensed money lending financial group of companies. We are a licensed money lending financial institution. We are located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Our phone numbers are 339-1670, 267-7325 or 238-6716. Contact us today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, we are live on Synergy Network. Real Talk with Saieed Ali. We have our own studio on Carolina Savannah Road in Shogunas. If you want to see me, remember those of you who are having spiritual problems, you can also come and check me out. I am at number 14 Carolina Savannah Road in Shogunas in our head office. Hey, hear this now. Hear this now. Food security is a serious thing. I want to let you understand how serious it is. Food security, having flour, having salt, having curry, having oil is a very, very serious thing. I want to let you understand that. While CARICOM heads of government are working towards investing and improving the agriculture industry through its 25 by 2025 initiative, the region's current state of food security is said to be worsening. Now listen this. I am not here to get you all scared. I am not here to get you all frightened. I am not here to get your heart racing. No, I am not here to do that. I am just here to let you know what is taking place in the world and the region and in Trinidad and Tobago. I am just keeping you updated. The grim revelation was made during the virtual launch of the 5th round of Caribbean Food Security and Livelihood Survey. So it's a survey they did. And it was carried out by the Caribbean Food Security. The survey rounds were conducted in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which compares findings from April 2020 to June 2020. February 2021 and February 2022. Among the cause for the contractions was the European conflict, which suggested climate inflation, which is having a negative impact on the region, socio-economic recovery, impacting food consumption and diets. So the COVID-19, it did put a strain, yes. Shipping container went up from as much as 1,500 to 21,000 US. Prices on the shelves at groceries and supermarket in Trinidad and Tobago, they skyrocketed. Vegetables skyrocketed. We saw that in the 2021, 2020, late 2019. But nevertheless, the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization sub-regional office, Dr. Renata Clark, said swift measures were needed to bridge gap in both the food and energy market. Failure to do so, she warned, could be dire. The report also unearthed that the food insecure population in the region has increased by 1.4, almost doubling since the start of the pandemic. Okay, this released today. So I want to know now, after getting this today, what is the Agriculture Ministry going to do for farmers in Trinidad and Tobago? How are they going to secure food security? What are their plans? Now, this is a big thing, you know. This was done by the Caribbean Food Security and Livelihood Survey. What's going to happen? You ever ask yourself, if you don't get tomatoes, what's going to take place? Now, you might just say, hey, Saieed, tomatoes is nothing. But if you don't get tomatoes, you know, you won't get ketchup. You know, if you don't get tomatoes, you don't get ketchup. And we love when we buy fried chicken to put ketchup. So that's a ripple effect right there. From the farmers to the market and then to the food chain. So you see, and this is just tomatoes. That is just tomatoes. No tomatoes, no tomatoes choker, no ketchup. How does that sound? Is that a serious thing? Yes, because in a food chain, fast food industry, you need ketchup. You need ketchup. No barbecue sauce. That's the next thing right there. So you see, that is only one product we're talking about, eh? Tomato. Tomato. So what's going to happen now with food security? Think about it. What we gonna do? How many of you love all the fried chicken? All the barbecue? We love that. We can't do it all that. I know a friend, every day they have to eat fried chicken, you know. Every day they have to eat fried chicken. And they need a little barbecue sauce, and they need a little ketchup. We talk about one item. We talk about tomato, barbecue sauce, ketchup, and that's it. Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali have stated that the reconstructing, here what I want to do, reconstructing of Atlantic Energy, former part of a high-level talk in Europe with executive of global energy giants BP and Shell. They had a big talk. They had a restructuring talk. Following discussions, the PM states that he is optimistic that when the term of the arrangement are finalized, soon Trinidad and Tobago will benefit from negotiations. The PM added that as part of the restructuring, the government together with stakeholders of BP and Shell would seek to introduce a new shareholding arrangement where TNT would own shareholding across the 3 trains of the 4 LNG plants locally. Listen to this.
What we've been working on is a very novel arrangement. You know, we have 4 LNG plants. Train 1, which is the oldest one, came to the end of its contract life recently and has been shut down, mothballed, largely because there isn't enough gas to run 4 trains. That leaves us with 3 trains. We had a 10% shareholding in train 1. We have no shareholding in train 2. We have no shareholding in train 3. And we had 11% in train 4. So strictly speaking, we only now have 11% in one of the trains. That is our shareholding. But we get revenues from the business of the other 2 trains by virtue of taxes and profits. What we have been doing, we started negotiations with Shell and BP because Shell and BP are the major shareholders in trains 2, trains 3, and train 4. We set about to engage these companies to put a new shareholding arrangement in place where the people of Trinidad and Tobago would own shareholding across the 3 trains. Those discussions are very advanced, and we anticipate that in the not too distant future, we will tell you more definitively what that outcome has been, but we can report that the discussions have gone quite well.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I am glad you all heard that. How long ago, if you all could recall, that the Minister of Energy, Stuart Young, in a press conference, I believe it was a press conference, when he said, we can supply gas and oil to the Caribbean. How many of you remember that? If you remember that, 2386716, call the program. How many of you remember that? How quickly we forget in Trinidad. How quickly we forget. Dr. Rowley said another key success of the visit was to better benefit from increased LNG price in Asia and Europe, referring to the Henry Hub gas price structure. Dr. Rowley said, under this pricing structure, TNT is paid a certain amount while LNG was sold at a higher price elsewhere, but noted that recent changes in the arrangement allowed TNT to benefit from other prices globally. Listen to this.
I could tell you that our teams, led by Minister Young, we've relentlessly pursued this, and the new arrangements were such that we were not bound only by Henry Hub, but we received benefits based on references to the European price and the Asian price. So the three baskets, Asia, Europe, and Henry Hub, now and Brent, the oil price Brent, they form the basis on which we now extract our benefits.
How long ago did Stuart said we would be able to supply the Caribbean? Now we don't have LNG. While saying that, I remember Colin Members saying, Madam Speaker, there's a boom in the economy. I remember that. The economy is turning around. When the economy turns around, Petrotrain gets shut down. When the boom takes place, the refinery shut down. How many of you remember that? Is it a pattern? A couple months ago, Stuart John came out and said, we're going to supply the region. We're going to supply the Caribbean with oil and gas. How are we going to do that? Boom, now you just heard there are less LNG in Trinidad. What are we going to do now? Who's telling the truth? And then all I would say now, Saieed, stop bashing the government. But who the hell in the government is telling us, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, the truth? All come out and say something now. Come out and say something. Oh, Saieed, you're bashing the government. Saieed, don't do that. What am I doing? You tell me. What am I doing other than telling you what is taking place? You tell me, you be the judge. This is your country. This country didn't belong to Stuart Young, or it did belong to the PNM administration, neither the UNC administration, or whatever administration. It belongs to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. But oh, Saieed, you're bashing the PM. Bashing the PM? You bashing the PM? Oh. That is the same Prime Minister who said, I'm not going to beg for vaccine for you to take it to save your life. Now all you could bump all your gum. Now all you could yap all your teeth. Your top teeth and the bottom teeth like knocked together. All you could make noise now. Because you know what we don't like to hear in Trinidad? We don't like to hear the truth. We rather remain in a 2x2 and drink water whole day. And we're good with that. As long as we don't hear the truth, we okay. Me? Come good, you know. Come very good. So hear this. He added that this accounted for some of the significant revenue that the government will report going forward and has resulted in a significant revenue flows into Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to the Prime Minister.
And that will account for some of the significant revenues that we have reported and that we will report going forward. We've changed the formula by which the proceeds are apportioned in LNG sales. That has been a very significant, far-reaching success of this government, and it has resulted in its significant increased revenue flows into Trinidad and Tobago. It didn't come about by us breaking any contract. It didn't come about by us threatening anybody. It came about by the government of Trinidad and Tobago leading delegations to the boardrooms of the decision makers and negotiating improved arrangements for the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
So I want to ask the Prime Minister, when Stuart Young came out and said that we're going to supply the Caribbean with oil and gas, where were we going to find that oil and gas from? Tell me, Mr. Prime Minister. Tell me. Or is it that after a blast earlier, when I closed down the refinery, when I told you all you could have purchased oil on the outside, refine it in our refinery, and then sell it back? Because you're buying one product, oil, and you're getting about 5 or 6 different products when refined in where? In Trinidad, where? In Pointe-à-Pitre, where? So now we don't have LNG in 1, 2, and 3 station. But Stuart Young a couple months ago said we're going to supply the region, the Caribbean. May not be the exact words, but we're going to supply them with oil and gas. Prime Minister, the floor is up to you now. It is up to you now. It is also up to Stuart Young now. For Stuart now to come and clarify what he was saying. I believe he made those speeches during the pandemic. Yep. So I want to know now, where we getting this gas, where we getting this LNG, and how the hell the economy booming now, Mr. Imbert? Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But before we go for this commercial break, Mr. Deraj Tulsi, I understand you visited the company today, but there was an item that you were supposed to leave on the company's compound until you sort out whatever. Oh, look the item. Is that the item? Wow. Mr. Deraj, would you please bring your item and leave it on the company's compound until you sort out whatever? That is all I'm asking you. That is all I am asking of you. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back from that break, we're going to talk about restructuring. Petrochin. Structuring. Pointe-à-Pitre. You're going to hear what David Lee have to say right after this break.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Are you looking for quick cash and do not know where to turn? We have got the answer for you. Visit us at Realtor Group of Companies. We are a licensed money lending financial institution. We are located at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Our phone numbers are 339-1670, 267-7325 or 238-6716. Contact us today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Do you want to make the best investment but not sure where to turn? Put your mind at ease and worry no more. Real Talk Group of Companies is giving you a whopping 3.5% interest on your investments. Come on down and visit us today. We have 2 convenient locations just for you. Visit us at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Sipera Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando. Sit back and watch your money grow at Real Talk Investment. Do contact us now at 238-6716, 339-1670, or 242-7690. Our team of professionals are waiting for you. Grab this opportunity and invest today. Real Talk Investment, helping real people make real money. This ad was paid for by the Real Talk Group of Companies Limited.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Saieed Ali, viewers. Remember, we are live on Synergy Network. Now, hear this, on LNG Atlantic restructuring. When contacted for comment, a Point-a-Pay MP, David Lee, stated that he was not impressed that enough is being done to secure TNT's energy interests. He accused the government of failing to nurture development in the energy sector. So, viewers, I have a question for you tonight. Is the government of Trinidad and Tobago presently failing to nurture the development in the energy sector? Keep in mind, we don't have no LNG in 1213. Keep in mind, they raised gas price even though they did not had the cause to raise it. So is the energy sector restructuring? Where are they going with it? Stuart Young said we're going to supply the region. We're going to supply them with oil and gas. What type of oil and gas are they going to supply the region or the Caribbean with? Where are we going? Is there progress in Trinidad and Tobago? Are we reaching to a point where there's a barrier that we cannot go beyond that barrier? I'm asking you tonight, as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, as a concerned citizen, as a TV host, as a businessman, as a public figure, as a father. I never know holding all them titles. Is the energy sector in Trinidad being strengthened? Is it being nurtured? Is there growth? Because when Colin Mimbo said the economy is turning around where? Where did we turn and go? The refinery shut down, petroleum shut down. That was a boom, that was a bomb. Stuart Young, a couple months ago, we're going to supply the region and of the Caribbean with oil and gas. Today now, the Prime Minister is saying now, there is no LNG in 1, 2, neither 3. So the trip that they went now, they're going to get a better price, and then negotiations will come in, and then we're going to benefit. How the hell are we going to benefit? How are we going to benefit when we close down the old refinery we had? Because of bad management and a simple thought as, you know what? We have our refinery, we're going to import oil, we're going to refine it, and we're going to sell it back to the outside world, and we're going to make money and develop our country. I wonder where those businessmen went. All those big heads, where did they go? When Lahant went to Israel to look on the device that would see what's up broken lines under the earth from in space, where Lahant went, where did the money go, where did the technology go? You tell me. My job is to keep you updated. My job is to remind you of what happened in the past. So how do we go forward? So tomorrow night, being Friday, I will try to get the Supermarket Association President, Mr. Rajiv Dipti, to give us a little insight about food security and the survey that was recently done. I will ask him to voice his opinion concerning that. Sometimes you all might hear me saying, well, all these things happening, what's going to happen? Are we reaching a dead end in Trinidad? Is there any progress? Where do we go from here? How do we plan our next step? We don't know. Because when we have ministers coming out and tell you, A, when is it actually D and E and F? How the hell are we going to plan? You tell me, how are we going to plan? It's scary. It is scary. Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali have stated that the notion of multiple shooting must not be deemed as a norm in the minds of citizenry. Multiple shooting mustn't be in our minds. 8 p.m. How long ago did you went on that trip? Did you now return after 7 years? Approximately 7 years back, the PNM administration take over governance in Trinidad and Tobago, and apparently, multiple shooting must not be deemed as a norm in the mind of the citizen. Did he now come back from a 7-year vacation? Did he? It amazed me to know this is the kind of words coming out. It's amazed me to know this is the story coming out from the heads of security. Speaking about the recent spate of gun violence in Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Saieed Ali states that this is a period of violent crime that none of us can accept as normal, but we have to respond to it on a daily basis. How do we respond to this? I will tell you something. And it's very, very simple for the Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, to hold a meeting with all the heads of security in Trinidad and Tobago, security being the Coast Guard, security being TTDF, Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, security meaning Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, heads. What do? We have a proper strike back. You know what is a proper strike back? 6 weeks, 8 weeks straight. Every single weekend, raids throughout Trinidad. Every corner, every block. As some would say, you're leaving no stone unturned. How are we fixing that? It's a simple thing. Here's the reason why I would applaud former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith. Violence, serious violence and crime were down. But the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago made a mistake by selecting the then former Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gary Griffith. Crime down, but that was a mistake. So now that crime is up in Trinidad and Tobago, we must not, listen to this. Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali have stated that the notion of multiple shootings must not be deemed as a norm in the minds of the citizens. Saieed, you're talking nonsense. Really? Well, then you fix it. You fix it. You bloody hell get up from where you're sitting down and fix the problem. Because your son and daughter will face it. Mine's too. Call her good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
My friend.
The original imitation vaccine vigorous.
Talk to me, you're live.
Why are we here? We are here because a man made one decision to protect himself and his best friend. The closure of Petrotrin, the A and B issue. And the next question, why I'm saying so. Why we can't patrol the road, why we can't protect the borders, we have no diesel. What is diesel for? The diesel for the boat. They don't want to come out and say it, and all people have to understand what is happening. Why we have so much potholes? You know what I'm doing to school children every morning? Keeping them in an hour and a half to go and an hour and a half to come back home. I'm telling you. What does that do to a child? For example, I'm talking from my experience. My daughter sleeps in the car every morning when we leave home very early because it is on the Uriah Butler Highway. It is chaos on morning. You could actually walk to school faster than you could drive. And added to that, to come out of all the main roads, all the other, what kind of roads we just call them, the access roads, all of them are potholes. So that caused an additional problem. It caused a new industry to grow. That is why the PNM went in the thing, you know, we say crime and the mortuary attendants. Those are the two things, and fabrication. Now the mechanics basically flourishing now because every month you have to go and change your rubbers and your ends and your bushings and things. But the critical thing is that decision to close Petrotrin facilitating crime because the police can respond, the code guards can protect our civilians, a lot of things. It's only recently I hear on a talk show, a police response to a query, they didn't have no gasoline in the vehicle.
Thank you, my friend. I understand. So viewers, hear this, The PM, he added that citizens have to continue to manage their personal and national affairs while this average killing is dealt with. Question on his hopes for the September 26 national budget, the PM states that a budget is a series of estimates and the government makes the most of what is available to them. Question on Paula, or the President Paula Mayweek's remarks to MPs on the conduct in Parliament. The PM was unfazed and thought that what the President said has some truth to it. The man was unfazed. It has some truth to it. Some. Hello, joke, yes? We're moving on to Hines. According to the Ministry of Health, Epidemiologist Division, Technical Director Dr. Avery Hines, there are more documented influenza cases of this period compared to previous years. Speaking at a Wednesday virtual COVID-19 press briefing, Dr. Hines said the main influenza strain currently is circulating in TNT is H3N2. Listen to this video.
The number of cases so far for this point in the year, or up to this point in the year, actually does exceed the number of cases that would have been detected last year. But we do have to bear in mind that the testing was more focused on COVID-19 last year to some extent at the expense of other testing because the resources for testing all of these viruses are shared. Those are it's the same people, it's the same machines, and it's really whether you use them to do one test or another. So it may not be a fair comparison, but yes, the numbers that we are seeing this year, because we've now increased that respiratory panel testing, that respiratory virus, wider respiratory virus testing, we have seen correspondingly more numbers in this time period than we would have documented last year. And I use the word documented very carefully because there may have been undocumented cases.
Now, this year, he said, testings have been increased for respiratory ailment, which could be why larger number of influenza are recorded. Influenza season runs from October to May, but Hines said it can spread outside of this window. He also added that the influenza does not actually read on the book of seasons, but it will spread once it gets into a population with lots of movement, such as the reintroduction of traveling from other countries into our countries. Listen to the doctor.
Influenza doesn't actually read the book on seasons, so influenza will spread once it gets into a population and there's lots of movement. We would have had a lot of movement within this the July-August period. We would have had a reintroduction of travel, bringing things from other countries into our population in a pattern that would differ from other years. Because there was a reduction in mobility followed by a removal of those restrictions and spikes in travel at points in time that don't correspond to the normal travel periods, anything can re-enter on the basis of movement of human beings. So influenza season doesn't mean that influenza is restricted to transmission during that October period, October to December period. It just means that it is more frequently seen.
We're just going to have to watch and see. So here in Trinidad and Tobago, I just want to say congratulations to the Health Minister, Mr. Terence Singh, as he says swine flu has left him. So here it is. Although he is back out to work, Minister of Health, Terence Singh, has said that he is still very weak after recently battling swine flu. While speaking at the opening of the Maitagal Community Center in Sama, a community center in Sama on Wednesday, the thing occasionally coughed and sniffled. The thing was hospitalized at the Arima Hospital. And after the health ministry said he did not have COVID-19, it was revealed that he had swine flu. Earlier he said, please don't tell me, Dr. Michelle Trotman, I want you to listen to this video first and we will continue.
Please don't tell Dr. Michelle Trotman I am here. Because speaking to her this morning, she said, Minister, get some rest now. You're coughing still, you're still not up to scratch. So I'm glad there's no media here to record that, and nobody has a recording device. The swine flu has left me very weak. Huh?
I will tell you something. Terence Singh, every time somebody cough, you used to say it's COVID-19. Remember when you pulled up on the promenade and you wept? A tear run from your eye, Mr. Singh. And you're telling people, well, you know, if somebody cough, they may have COVID-19. So wear your mask, walk with your sanitizer, and protect yourself. Terry, is it swine flu or COVID-19? You could say anything, you know. You could tell the public anything, and is the public to buy it? Is the public to buy it? Trinidad and Tobago, remember when he said, hey, everybody have a cough, watch out, you know. They could be a carrier, you know. They could be COVID-19, you know. They could be asymptomatic, you know. You could end up in the hospital, you know. You could even lose your loved ones, you know, by just a... Terry, my dear brother, We're from the same soil, Trinidad. But do you remember your words to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago concerning COVID-19 and the symptoms? I do hope you remember. Remember the video again, the director? It left me weak. Run the video.
Please don't tell Dr. Michelle Trotman I am here. Because speaking to her this morning, she said, Minister, get some rest now. Your coffin you're still not up to scratch. So I'm glad there's no media here to record that, and nobody has a recording device. The swine flu has left me very weak. Huh?
Hey, Terrence, all are good, you know. All are good, all are good. All are really, really good.
To record that,
hey, Navin.
and nobody has a recording device.
Yes, I could do that. I could do that.
The swine flu has left me very weak.
Look at that. I could do that nice pan of biscuit now, you know. With that cough tickling my throat, I want something sugary to go down. Please don't tell Dr. Trotman I am here. So you going up on a big platform for the public to tell Trotman that Terrence was there. Well, look good, you know. Well, look really, really good. So viewers, we are out of time for tonight. But nevertheless, viewers, there's a rerun of this program from 11:30 to 12:30 tomorrow, right here on the Synergy Network. And we'll be right back here on Friday, the 16th of September, with Fire Friday. Al-Kamazir Kida Unna Ba'illa Antara. Until then, be safe and don't cough. Good night.